My name is David Woodall with the United Church of Canada and the Emsdale Pastoral Charge. I think we are familiar with these words, sung by Louis Armstrong and others. I see trees of green, red roses too. I see them bloom for me and you, and I think to myself, what a wonderful world. I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright, blessed day and the dark, sacred night. The colors of the rainbow, so pretty in the sky, are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands, saying, "How do you do?" They're really saying, "I love you." I hear babies cry and watch them grow. They'll learn much more than I will ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. We traditionally call this Sunday Mother's Day. In the church, we sometimes refer to this as Christian Family Day. I like to think of it as the day we celebrate the families we're born into and the ones that we have created along the way in life. We remember all the good things that come from our families. Now, we don't forget the challenges. They are there too, and too often they are easier to remember. So today, let's veer to the good and the hopeful. Let's celebrate mothers and grandmothers and great-grandmothers. There is a place in my memory where I walk through a door and see green grass stretching before me and trees in full bloom. I hear the song of birds, the gentle sound of waves breaking on the beach, wind blowing through the trees. Behind me in the cabin I left are the sounds of family life waking up, ready to adventure into another day. There is a place in my memory where a young man stood under the vast canopy of starlit skies, wrestling with those great and ultimate questions of life, where the answer to all of life's questions turned out to be found in two simple words: I believe. What was it Jesus said? I came that they may have life and have it abundantly. I recently read a report about the mental health crises that was originally affecting teens, but now over the years is seeping into young and middle-aged adults. It affects families and relationships. This report says there's a pessimism about the future. The report noted that every generation faces its own crises, from the Vietnam War through the Cold War threat of nuclear annihilation to the financial and climate crises of today. The difference in today's mental health struggle seems to be that the overall perception of life is negative. The great task of this age is to change that perception of life into something that is positive and life-giving. Now, as parents, we know this. If you catch your kids doing good and reinforce that, then they will do more good. If we celebrate people who do good, then they will do more good. If we discover and concentrate on those solutions to the climate crisis, more solutions will start to appear. A better world is created by people who believe that there can be a better world. If you only look for the problems, you'll find them. If you listen only to critics, they will overwhelm you with despair. But if you look for the solutions, you will be amazed at the hope these solutions spawn. If you find people speaking hope and ways forward, you will find yourself awash in the potential and possibility for the future. We need the opportunity to find love and joy, to see hope and faith, to experience life being lived in good ways. We need the time to listen, the space to live, the moments of awareness, and the love of family, friends, and neighbors and strangers. When these things touch us, they become moments of hope, a new positive perception of life, a sacred moment, and an open space in which we can find ourselves and that abundant life that Jesus spoke of. I live here in the middle of north of Ontario. within the realm of nature. Deer wander our streets from time to time. Wild turkeys cross the road. The occasional moose appear in places we don't expect. The beauty of spring is appearing all around us. This is a sacred space. There is hope and possibility and renewal in these days. And wherever we are, the invitation from God is to make these days ones that are full of hope and possibility and renewal. Not because we're naive or we're pie-in-the-sky fools, but because the very health of our teens, our young adults, our families, the health of us old people, in fact, the health of our world depends on it. Now, spaces for hope are not only found in nature, they are found wherever people gather together. City squares, crowds, food courts, any place we can be together. We do know there's a definite negative health correlation between too much screen time and too little time spent with other people. We need to spend time together. We need those places that people can find the welcoming and encouraging and nurturing moments that strengthen our lives. Those moments when we can put our own lives into perspective. Because you see, this is the time of our lives. Be sensitive to the time in which we live and the environment which we create by our own approaches to life. It might be that this moment could become a sacred moment because you created the opening for it. In our troubled world, we too often neglect or are not aware of, or at times even try to destroy that which is sacred. And we are so much poorer when that happens. There are attempts today to control the environment and life that people live. They are political and they are ideological. They are attempts to control people, what they hear, what they read, what they learn. You know, it's almost as if we don't trust that God created us well. And when trust in God disappears, the world becomes a dark and pessimistic place. In that world, they want to control other people. Abortion, First Nations, racial equality, LGBTQ2, the list goes on. But the truth is, God did create us well. We simply need to create a world which is a wide open environment in which anything we can be celebrated. And we can create a world where people can be themselves, where they are simply accepted for who they are. We can do this when we take the time to create spaces and moments that are sacred. When we gather with others, when we celebrate our families, when we give any person the opportunity to discover themselves and discover what they can do, to know that they are valued and that they belong. Time. Thank you for this moment in life when I feel really alive, when I feel the gift of time for what it is, a portion of eternity. When I can actually appreciate how precious a gift is to have time to know you, time to know others, time to spend with my inner self, time to give to others. And as I think about it, this most precious gift you have given me is really the most valuable gift we can give to each other. The time to listen, the time to sympathize, the time to really think out an answer, the time to advise thoughtfully, the time to transform a shallow relationship into a loving friendship. So take the time to listen. Create moments of hope for yourself by catching all the good things that go on in life. Find the space to live abundantly, not just for yourselves, but for all those who inhabit your life. Hope, faith, abundant life is taught and is caught in these sacred places, which we call ordinary life. I see trees are green. I see them bloom for me and you. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. And I see skies of blue and clouds of white, the bright blessed day and the dark sacred night. The colors on the rainbow so pretty in the sky are also on the faces of people going by. I see friends shaking hands saying, how do you do? They're really saying, I love you. I hear babies cry and I watch them grow. And they'll learn much more than I will ever know. And I think to myself, what a wonderful world. Happy Mother's Day. Happy Family Day. Happy today, our day. Amen.